Now I'm not muted. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everybody is doing well on this Friday, February 20th. February is flying by, which is good, I guess, because I want to get to part 2 of Bridgerton. I don't know about you guys, but that's all I really want. It's great to see everybody. Great to have you all here. It's been a busy morning around Bead Shop headquarters. We have been getting your project boxes out, so you should be seeing your notifications. And those should be landing in your mailboxes by next week, because a week from today, we're doing the unboxing live. So it's going to be fun. So if you don't want to know, you don't want any spoilers, don't open it. But we will be unboxing it next week, right at this very time. So it is great to actually see all of you all here. So it's good to see you. I'm just going through the comments here. So it's great. Oh, Heather, great. I'm glad you like this project. Yes, we're going to be working on this today. Let me get right into what we're going to be doing. Let me add this. Oh, you know what? This isn't quite right. There we go. I'll put it right there. All right. Oh, the earrings. These earrings, Margaret, are the ones that I did a while back. The dancer earrings I did it with the with that nun design component right there. I'll put it back on the homepage for you so you can find it, but it's under earrings. I think it's under dancer earrings, I believe is where it is. So yeah, I like them. I was wearing them yesterday. I thought I'd just put them right back on today. So yes, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Let's take a look. If you opened your newsletter this morning, and I hope you did, you saw that I launched the first of some of the things that I got from our African trader when he was here. So when he was here and I was putting all of these together, in my mind's eye, I had a design in mind, and I think it came out pretty well. I'm going to show you how I finish it off today. I'm also going to show you, since it's a mystery box, I bet that some of you want to see like a full overview of the colors and everything. So let me put that up so you can see it here. So I called this box, let me go. You can find it now in Just In. I'm sorry, I haven't put a link on the homepage yet, but I will. But it's the Crossroads of Color Mystery Kit. And I'm going to grab it and also put it in the comments so it goes everywhere. It's right there. Oh, and thank you for that. Earrings are under Crescent Fans. They're called Lola. Thank you for that, Michelle. Oh, thanks, Zach. The brooch that I'm wearing, this is from the stitch-in from last weekend. And Janice asked me when we had our check-in this morning, any stitch-in tomorrow? No stitch-in tomorrow, because tomorrow's our Fiber Guild meeting. So there will be no chance of a surprise stitch-in, but it's coming along. I just love wearing this. I hope you enjoyed Wednesday's broadcast with the other brooch I'm working on. So it's getting there. I hope to have something to show you folks by next week. So we'll see what happens. So that's the brooch I'm wearing. But this is the project that I have for you today with the Crossroads of Color Mystery Kit. So it's not a mystery in that all of the kits have the same components in them, but the colors are a mystery. So I've got some of the components right here, and I'm going to show them to you. So, but first, let me show you what I have in the kit, you get this lovely little tube of African stripes. They're mostly striped beads. They were really gorgeous. I could not pass them up. I just love them. Um, and yes, I love the use of color from our friends over on the continent of Africa, especially the textiles of Ghana, which I just love. They're just so gorgeous. So yeah, so I had to take my inspiration. So you get these. These are also known as Dutch rings. In the vintage world, Dutch rings were made. They were made a little bit differently and they look a little bit different, but they're still calling these Dutch rings in the African trade market. These are contemporary beads, lampwork beads, and they come in a variety of colors. Your kit will have about 10 to 12, maybe something around there. And I just love them. And they come in these gorgeous colors. I'll show you more colors. Your kit will also have this center bead is contemporary, but it is made in the same style as the old Venetian trade. And the quality, and I'll show you, I'm going to pull some of these out. The quality of these beads were so that I could not pass them up. But there weren't enough in single colors to like sell as a color batch or whatever. So that's what gave me the idea of putting these in a kit. This bead, I want to measure it for you. Let me get my caliper here so that you can see the measurements of these. They're really, I think they're really just a beautiful bead. They are about 50 millimeter across. And can you see how it curves a bit? So in the center, it's about 12 millimeter. And the holes are about 3 millimeter, right? And yes, the bent man, I just love these so much. They're just gorgeous. And then every kit has one of each of these Padre beads. So it's kind of a light pinkish mauve, kind of off-white, kind of indescribable color that I love. And then this also kind of smaller, irregular, in kind of a mocha color. So every kit has this, right? But then the kits also have another strand of beads from the Maasai. These are from the Maasai. And these are older. All of these are older. The Padres, these guys are older. These are older. And this will be a mystery. This one, these are going to be different. This bead, center bead, will be different. The Dutch rings, I'll show you the variety of colors, are going to be different. And then, of course, the little tube of the stripes, it's going to have a variety of stripes. They're all going to kind of look like that. Okay. So let me show you some of the, I'm going to show you all of the color choices. So if you order one and you're like, you know what, this is the color that I really like, you can gently ask. I can't promise anything, but let me show you these center beads. I need a better background though. Hang on. I didn't really list them on the page because I didn't want to get people so caught up in choosing their colors, right? But since you're watching on free tip, right, it'll make it a little bit, a little special for you folks. That background is not big enough. Here we go. Let me get this. This might be a little. Let's use this. Okay, so these are all of the curved lamp work. They have a lot of goldstone on them. They're just gorgeous. Just look at them. I mean, come on. They're just beautiful. I can't choose my favorite, though I really love this black one with the feathering down the center. I love this blue one with the flowers. I love this light blue that's kind of matte. I love this yellow, this feathering on the yellow. So you're going to get one of these. Okay. Look at that gray one right there. So I think this is a sample from all of the colors that I have. Okay. If there's something like, if you're like, no, I don't want this pink one, or no, I don't want this yellow one, we'll do our very, very best, but I can't promise because they're all going to be kind of mixed together. But look at this one. Look at this one. The background on this one is orange. This one's kind of an individual one. So they're just beautiful, and they're beautifully made. The holes are gorgeous. They're just a gorgeous, gorgeous bead. They are like the cupcake beads, exactly. Now, to be honest, so my trader, he got these in Ghana, but where they originated, I'm not sure, to be completely honest. I don't know. They are contemporary, so I'm not sure actually where they're made. He didn't really know either. He said Ghana, and I'm like, yeah, I don't. So they could have been produced in Ghana, but my guess is maybe they were imported in. But it's hard to tell, right? But they're just gorgeous. Now, the rings, these rings we have in a variety of colors. And I'm just going to kind of match them or contrast them to the different kits as I put them together. So we've got this beautiful kind of this pale pink. This is kind of a cross between emerald and teal. Look at that. Isn't it gorgeous? This one is an opaque teal, an opaque aqua, a transparent aqua, and a matte transparent like peridot, right? Aren't they gorge? And they just go so beautifully here. Now, again, everyone is going to get one of each of these. And I couldn't pass them up. I had to. He had them all in a big hank, and I couldn't pass them up. I had to have them. So, and in turn, you folks had to have them. The quality on these little Padres, and if you break this kit up, you don't have to string it all together, right? You could put it with some of the other finds in your, in your stash or whatever. Thank you, Clarissa. I already ordered a kit because whenever I don't order a bead shop kit, I regret it. You know what? Those are the kindest words. Thank you so much for that. That really warms my heart. I really, really appreciate it. And I agree, Terry, it's nothing more decadent than a full hank of beads. It feels just so wonderful for sure. So there are those. And then I pulled just a sampling of some of the Maasai beads that you're going to get. Now, the Maasai beads, some of them are rounded. Some of them are cut like this. Some strands have multiple colors. See, like this one. Some strands have single colors. So I'm going to try and make a real nice palette where all of these elements go together nicely for you. So Audrey, this is a great question. What's the difference between the Christmas beads and the tube of striped beads? So the tube of these striped beads are mostly rounds. Let me open this and dump it out. Christmas beads, these are some that you would see in the strands of Christmas beads for sure. But Christmas beads also have a bunch of other beads in them, like bugles and other things. These are going to be mostly the rounds, right? They're just gorgeous. And it has this, one of my favorites is this burgundy with blue stripe. It has this yellow stripe. It has this white stripe. It has this blue and green stripe. And some of these that were striped also had some of these kind of Maasai type cut beads in them as well. So probably these are Czech in origin. That's what most of these are. And that's what these could be as well. They could be Czech in origin. It's, you know, sometimes it's a mystery. But we really love, we've been buying from this African trader for a long time. Some of you who, if you've watched the socials and you watch the bead shop, bead table group, you saw me. It was so cold that day that I was buying beads. He comes in like this big white van, right? And my neighborhood is suburbia personified. So when I'm out there buying beads in the big white van from my very tall African trader from Ghana, the neighbors are like, "What's Kate doing now?" And I'm all, "That's right, everybody. That's right." It's kind of fun. So yeah, so you get a tube of these. You also will get, because I wanted you to have something to finish your project with, I'm going to put these aside and I'm going to bring the project in. I also have some other things coming. I bought some component parts that I'm selling as components. I just have not had time to get them up, but it's on the list. After we do the unboxing and stuff, I will put those up. I also have another kit for you folks that'll be coming up. Much different in flavor than this one. But I hope you love this. And they're not Bead Shop Studio kits. Terry, you can use your points. You can use your a coupon code, the February 10. You can do all of that. Okay. So yeah, it's okay. Looks like one of my Facebook streams isn't going, but hopefully it'll come back up. Looks like the Kate Bridgeberg Facebook stream. But if you're watching somewhere, if Facebook is glitchy, come on over to YouTube. Okay. And so you should be able to watch. Okay. So yes, so they're just regular inner kits in Justin. I will put the link also on the homepage after this broadcast as well. Okay, so let me move this. Let me show that finished necklace again, and let me show you. Let's just get right into it. Let me put this somewhere so these don't fall over. But I have never seen these curved beads like this before. They were just so special, and I thought that you had to have them. Oh, and what I also didn't mention in your kit, I had some of this. You may remember this from last year's Tucson, or the Tucson before, the African textiles. I had some in my stash, and I thought that it needed to get into your hands to create something with. So everybody is also getting the just a piece of African fabric. It's coming in 2 colorways, this green colorway and then this colorway as well. So you can use it to make some little patches for embellishment on your clothing. You can do whatever you want. Put it on the back end, to work with. The piece that you're getting is about a foot, is about 11 or 12 inches by about 5 inches wide. So it's a nice piece of fabric that you can play around with it, right? It's really, really pretty. So that is also in yours. And Linda, no, you can use either a coupon code or a reward. You can't use both because our rewards come in coupon codes, right? So you can't stack codes. But so you have to make a choice. But if you have coupon codes, it's a great time to cash them in for the kit. So, okay, here is a grouping of one of the kits that I was working with. I've also slid into your kit one of these Tibetan style buttons, right? I just love this button. It's perfect for a closure on this. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to toss one in there because you folks will have fun working with it and creating that into a button. And I'm going to show you how I'm going to finish it off. You could use anything that you have in your stash and save this button for something else, but we're going to go for it and use it. Okay. So here's this. I'm going to put this in here. Let me put this. This is all one kit. And your button will either be antique brass or antique copper. It might even be gunmetal. I don't know. It just depends on what I throw in there. But this is here. And then, of course, you get your fabulous piece of African textile. This would make a great, I saw people saying something about like a little coin purse or a pouch. It would look great. You can back this on some of that heavier felt like we were doing and create, you know, a brooch. A lot of these, the textile, especially the one in green, it's cut from across the fabric. I cut it from across the fabric. So you're going to get some different motifs on there. It's not all going to look like this, but this is a perfect motif to do some beading on, to do a brooch like we've been doing for bead embroidery. So I think it'll be a lot of fun for you to play around with. I hope you like it. I hope you use it. You could even use it, you know, as a bookmark, right? You can just cut a strip of this and put it in your book or something, right? It's kind of fun. Remember, we used pinking shears on the edge, so you could cut your fabric. I'm going to do this one. You could cut your fabric with pinking shears, and the pinked edge prevents it from fraying, right? So here are my pinking shears, and you would just come in and you would pink it. This fabric also has not been laundered, so it has the sizing in it. So it's fairly stiff. It loosens up a bit when you launder it. But look at just what a great little strip of cloth this is when I cut this with my pinking shears. This is the selvage edge, so this edge has already been finished, so I'm not going to cut that. But right, there you go. Now you have a bookmark to slip in your book. I'm going to slip this right into the book that I'm reading right now. So that's also kind of fun. All right, so the way that I strung this up, and I'm going to remove this from the back so you can kind of see what's going on here. Is I strung this. My stringing material of choice for this was regular Ceylon, and I used regular Ceylon in indigo, I think. I don't know where it ended up, but I have to find it because I need it for macrame. But what I did, and it can be laundered, Margaret, this fabric, it can be. It's fine. It launders up just fine. I tested it a while back and it launders up great. So what I did here was I got 3 long strands of the Ceylon and I used regular, okay? Though you could also use Irish wax linen if you wanted, you know, whatever stringing material you liked. Here it is. Here's the Ceylon. I use the indigo color, but you can use whatever you want. You could use regular or you could use fine. I had regular sitting here and I wanted to make sure that the regular fit through these small beads. It does. I'm just going to show you a little tip to make sure that it's easy to string. I did not stiffen the ends of these either, and I did not use a needle. What I did for the ends was, And you can make those glue needles. I had the glue gel here with me ready to make glue needles, but I kind of didn't. I don't know. I got lazy or whatever. So I didn't make a glue needle. Let me zoom in. Hang on. Where's my zoom here? Hold please while I get that. I don't know why. Hang on. There we go. Let's make sure that you can see that. There we go. Great. Okay. Hang on. Let me move this over. Sorry. I need a production assistant. I'm the camera woman and the talent. There we go. So you could use the Zap glue, right? And make your glue needle, put it on a piece of plastic baggie, slide your thread through it, let it dry, and it'll stiffen this end. I didn't really have much trouble at all stringing. But what I did do, and I think you can kind of see it there, I did angle cut this. Okay. So the angle cut that I made, I got some really sharp scissors and I cut it at an angle. And that especially worked well for these small Padre beads. Okay. So that was good. And you can see even these that have the small holes like this, they just string right on if I can keep it in my hand. There we go. Okay. So the way that I strung this was I divided all 3 of my strands that I had, the Maasai beads, which are these, and the 2 Padres, I divided them in half. Okay. And I used half on one side and half on the other. So I started stringing. And what I did was I was stringing. And then my Maasai bead strand was going to be short. So I used my little beads from my tube to elongate it. Plus, I wanted a few of these in the front anyway. So I just did that. I added, I don't know, maybe it's an inch or a little bit more. Okay, right there, and there. Okay. Then when I measured, and I'm going to measure this whole thing, it might be a little bit long, so I might have some extra beads or whatever, but I haven't really measured it yet. Then I wanted to bring all of these strands together, so I grabbed one of the stripes that had a big hole, and some of them are big. They're like a 2-aught maybe. So that I brought all of these strands together. I didn't even tie a knot there. I just brought them together. Then I brought all the strands underneath the curved bead, center bead. And then I continued on the other side, put another stripe, and then strung all my 3. Now, I also had the Dutch rings that I love, and I wanted them to kind of flow on the strands. What I liked about this was that the stripe beads kind of acted as a stopper, though some of these will flow down a little bit too, so I'm not really worried. I wanted these to kind of move around. You could also put these on their own, like a few on each single strand, but I kind of liked how these just have movement like this. If you wanted them to stay in a particular place, you could put a larger bead from your stash, or like an Ashanti saucer, if you have any of those in your stash, that would work. And then it would kind of keep these beads from moving around. But, and Linda, the Dutch rings, these all come just in the kit. So they're kit only. So this cupcake bead, these strands, and these rings are kit exclusive. If you folks liked them, maybe I can get them again for our stock. But Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what this weird, it might be the lighting, the background of this, here, I'm gonna do this. The lighting of this pad. Ever since I upgraded everything, maybe that's better. I think it's the white that's picking things up. So let me put that. I had a camera upgrade, I had a computer upgrade, so I think that the resolution, I guess is what you would say, is a little bit better. So what I also did here on the back, this brown Padre, the little brown one, was a little short, and this pinkish one was a little long, so I wanted to make them all even. So I just moved some over there, right? I also still had some of these stripes left over, so I might have incorporated these stripes a little bit more into my strands. But to be honest, I was stringing this last night and I just wanted to get done. Okay, so I'm sorry, but I was like, I'm not going to go back and redo it. But you might want to sprinkle these a little more liberally into your piece. Okay, and so there was a question that Audrey had about if you wanted to attach a tassel to the curved bead. It would not damage the bead whatsoever. These are lampwork beads. They're pretty hardy. So if you did like a macrame loop and kind of put it around and then did your tassel from the bottom there, it would be fine. Okay, so it would be good. I think that this aura that's going around my hands, hopefully, yeah, see, it's there with the white, but not with this purple. So I need to remember this white is a no-go. Let me zoom in a little bit here for you. Always something fresh in tech that you have to look at, right? There we go. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to measure. This is a little too close. Sorry, you're going to have to deal with that aura a little bit. Hang on. You zoom back out just a little. There we go. Let me measure and tell you, or first I'm going to show you the length on me. Okay, what this kind of looks like here. And I've put little knots here on the end for now just to hold it all together. And without even measuring, there we go. Without even measuring, with a loop and a button, this is going to be kind of long like this, which is, I think it's cool, right? Because it can become a layering component. So I might actually leave it this long. But if you want, and I'll measure the length for you, if you wanted it to hug your neck a little bit more, because, let me show you, right? That curved bead looks great there, right? A little higher up. So it just depends on what you like, right? Let me measure this for you. I'll tell you door to door what I have here before the clasp. That's 18. It's about 27 inches or so of beads that you've got here. And it's about even. And I think I'm going to just let it be long and be a layering piece, right? Why not? My mom is saying she loves everyone. She loves that lampwork bead. I know what's going to happen to this necklace. And Janice, yes, we would love to see everyone's designs on the bead table after you make this, because it would be, they're such a great bead. Thank you for this African focal. I bought a lot of what our trader had, so we'll see when he comes back through. I won't see him again until the summer. But if he has some more, I'll get them just as singles. Okay. For that. But I just think they're gorgeous, right? That'll be gorgeous. So, yeah, let me show you how we're going to close this off. So I've got my 3 strands of my Ceylon here. And I'm going to use this longer one. Well, first I'll attach the button. And I'm going to leave this knot that I did here. Okay. And yeah, Lori, this would be great. You could make a shorter necklace and use the extras for a bracelet. You'll have plenty for a bracelet. You can do the necklace just plain and put the Dutch rings in the bracelet, or only use half the rings for the bracelet, half the rings for the necklace. I think it would look amazing. I think it would look amazing. You're getting a nice, generous helping of these beads in your kit for sure. So I'm going to use another one of these stripes that has the big hole. So when you get this kit, go ahead and maybe pick out 4 that have a larger hole, like something like that size, right? All right, so here we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to attach this on. So I'm just looking, Nancy, February 10. I'll look at it. Did you use February 10 all one? Miranda, can you check the code and make sure nothing's funky with it? And I put one in the cart. So let me just double check and make sure. Did it work for everyone else?
February 10 is active. Oh, minimum purchase maybe is the problem?
No, shouldn't be.
It says one-time purchase of products. Active.
Hang on. Justin, let me just make sure. Just drop us an email and we'll make sure we take that February 10 off. Okay. It may have just been a translation error. Let me do this. I'm going to try it though real quick and then we'll get to that. I tested it earlier, but yeah, it looks like all codes are working. February 10. Just make sure that you don't have, yeah, it was working for me. So just make sure that you don't have another coupon code or anything there. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. Let me get back to this. Sorry about that. Okay. Great. Good. And I do see it's working for people. I love this customer service in real time. It's kind of fun. I'm going to come in. I'm not going to do any macrame on this side. We're going to macrame over here. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up with all 3 of my strands. I'm going to go through my button. And we have to attach the button first before we attach or before we make the loop, right? Now, if you didn't want to macrame around, make a macrame loop for your button, we could use a little piece of leather. You could just really also just use this thread. So see here, I'm coming back through like that. And I'm going to clip all of these so they're even across. And I'll go back through that large hold bead. If the bead that you're sending everything through, I need a little more room. If the bead that you're sending everything through doesn't have a big enough hole, you can glue this knot and take a few, one thread away, 2 threads away, or just drop the thread out there. Don't even cut it away. Just get your other beads, go through, and then bring it back together and do the knot. Okay, but this fits all the way through here. So now what I'm also going to do here, I'm going to tie my knot, but I'm going to go ahead and tie this off, and I'm going to leave the strands. So I'm going to come in, we're going to tie a little square knot. I'm going to have 2 strands in one hand, 1 strand in the other. I'm going to tie it here. I'm going to bring it around, do it again. And I'll add a spot of glue on that knot. Now the glue, you can use whatever it is you like. You could use Zap, but my glue of preference is the GS. So we'll just come in and we'll add a little bit of glue there. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize the tails on this. And since I have some of those beads left over, sorry, you know what I'm doing? I'm trying to get the lid back into this cap. Hang on a second. There we go. But now I've got glue on my finger. Hang on. Let me get that glue off. All right. So I've got some of these guys that are left. And I'm just going to string up a few of these to do a little tassel. And I'll put that one. And the length on this, I'm going to make them a little bit longer. And I'm going to go through once, twice, 3 times. Let's hopefully make sure that that gives me a knot that's fat enough. If not, you can always put like a small 8/0 or an 11/0 or whatever. Yeah, there we go. Look at that one. Looks great. Now let me do this. This here. This one. This one kind of has a big hole, but I need it for the other side. So I'll set it aside. This one and this one. And we'll knot the end of this. And I don't want them to be the same length. I'm going to put that one up just a little bit, about right there. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. I love this kit too. I was hoping that you folks would love it as much as I do. I'm really happy with it. I think I'll probably use the thread burner on the ends of these. Let me just do this last one and I'll put the rest of these on here. So I use every single bead. Miranda, you okay?
Yep.
Okay. Miranda was sliding something, but it was just the chair.
Just moving stuff.
Moving stuff around. She's filling orders. Fast as we can go, everybody.
Let them know I'm filling orders in an obstacle course.
Yeah,
That's how hard I'm filling orders.
I know. We've got a lot of stuff kind of hanging around. Emily, too, is still out. She's still recovering, but she'll be back with us. But thank you for all of your kind, warm wishes for Emily, too. We will let her know. That's right. Oh, look, I've got one single left. Well, I'll use that for something else because I already put a small bead on the bottom. I'm going to go through once, twice, 3 times and tighten this up. So now what I have here are these 3 little strands. I'm going to get my thread burner. Hopefully the thread burner is heating. That one might need a new battery. I need to remember. No, not our Emily Miller. Our Emily 2. Yes, our filler Emily. Emily 1.
She just went to Tucson.
She's fine. Yeah, she just went to Tucson. That's not working. Miranda, do you have a? All of these are dead.
What?
A battery. Do we have a fresh one? All of these have died. Ooh, I've got one right here, maybe.
Well, I was gonna say, 'cause I don't.
Let me see. I've got one right here. If you're storing your batteries for any length of time, I would take them out of your thread burner so they don't drain. But let me just tighten this up. Hopefully this was a new battery and not an old one. Yeah, I think this will work. Get that in there. Thread burn that away. I don't know. Maybe this is where I put my old batteries too. I'm going to give it one more go. If it doesn't work for this next battery, then I'm just going to cut it off. And then I'll take all of these in the house and get another bat and get them all fresh batteries. No, JP. I've had one of these. These are from, like, we got one from Emily. These are all the ones we have for the retreat. So no, I have plenty of batteries for them. There we go. That battery worked. One of them is my old one. So don't worry, JP. I'm not stealing all of our thread burners. There we go. This is really the best way to get rid of these threads. Heat it and pull. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to put the KFR on the one that's working right now, and then the rest of these. Yeah, that's my old one. See, this was my old personal one, JP. Don't worry. So here's this. Here's the button side. Okay, and we've got these nice little tassels on this end. So now, if you just wanted to do something quick and easy, you could, we could just silk wrap this around and do a silk wrap loop, right? We could just tie a knot up there, and then this goes through and sits like that on the threads, which I think looks good. You could also tie a little loop of leather onto this end to go around that button. But I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to macrame it. And I think I've got some time. I love the way that the macrame closure looks. But I'm going to clip that on. I'm going to clip this over here. I love your Fibber McGee reference. Fibber McGee and Molly, right? That was one of my grand's favorite radio shows. I think that was it. So here we go. Oh, and what I need to do, though, before I start macrameing, I need to put on that bead, right? So let me get this all even. Then I'm going to go through like that. So there's bead is first. Thank you. A couple of you caught that. Thank you. Now I'm going to macrame. I'll get another piece of regular Ceylon. You could also do it with Chinese knotting cord if you wanted your loop to be a little bit bigger. But we're going to go ahead and we're going to macrame around here. Okay, like that. And then we're just going to start the macrame. I'm going to start going from the right over towards the left and tighten. This is one of our tried and true, if you're new to watching us, this is one of our very tried and true techniques. Our basic macrame knot. You can check our skill builders, but essentially it's the series of macrame square knots. We make our loop. My loop this time is going to my right, over that strand, under the center strand, and up through the loop to the right. And then I reverse it and I go left, my loop, underneath, and out and through. This is also a great technique. I mean, you don't have to string, just this kit this way. If you had some 8/0 and 6/0, right, or some smaller beads, and some kind of focal bead for the center, this would look great strung up this way. And using this little Tibetan style button, I think, is just a great closure. I'm so glad that we got them in the other finishes as well. It's really my go-to. I love it for wrap bracelets. I love it for closures like this. We're about halfway there. I'm kind of measuring it with my eyes, but we're going to go a little further and then we'll measure it. And then I'll show you how I finish off that loop. I could have also had some tassels. I could have saved some of those stripe beads, I guess, and made tassels on the loop end as well, but I just made it on the button end. But however you want to embellish it, it's getting there. Right over left and up, left over right and up. It's essentially the same knot that you use to tie your shoe, right? The first knot, you make a square knot. We're just doing the looping in opposite directions. A spiral knot would look good here. Linda would. It would look great. A spiral knot takes me a little bit longer to do, but I love a spiral macrame. Miranda loves a spiral macrame too, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Miranda?
Huh?
You love a spiral macrame too.
Ew.
You don't love a spiral macrame?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, did you say spiral?
Spiral, yeah.
I thought you said spider.
No, spiral.
Yes, I love a spiral.
Yeah, she loves a
I
spiral.
said spider. I was like,
No.
of course I don't.
No. All right, this is really close.
That's the one I'm best at.
Yeah, you're really good at spiral. This needs just a couple more knots. It was real close. No, not a spider macrame. I'm going to do one more. Okay, let's check this now. And I love the body that the Ceylon gives this to, for sure. See, there's my loop. And yeah, that's going to be just fine. It's going to scoot through right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do here is I could just end this right here, glue this down. So maybe I will. So I won't shove all of these through. Gluing this will be just fine. Then I'll knot it. Then I'll come back and I'll thread burn this away. Okay. You could also push the ends back up through the macrame as well, but I don't often do that. So here we are. Let's get all of these back through this large hold bead. A big eye needle would also be helpful here. Or a collapsible eye needle, which I think I have one sitting here. Let me grab it. Let's not make this more difficult than it needs to be. Though if I were doing this not on camera, I would wrestle these right in and not worry about it. But I've got a big collapsible eye needle here, and that'll make it a little bit easier for you. So I'll go with one of these and through my little bead there. And I'm not going to pull it too tight yet, because I'll pull them kind of all at the same time, probably. I wonder if I can get the other two in. I might. I should have done, if I was going to do two, I should have done them before, but that bead has a pretty big hole. So let me see. There we go. Went through here. I'm going to push it up to make a little open tunnel in that bead, right? There we go. All right, so now I've got so many threads here. Let me corral them. I'm going to pull all of these threads down. You know what I think I'm going to do first is I'm going to get rid of the threads that I macrameed with. Okay. And when I cauterize them using my thread burner, they kind of melt in. So it's a really good way to finish off macrame. So can you see it there? It's there. It's getting real close, not so close that I'm going to burn through the macrame. And there it goes. Okay. Now I'll do this one. And I like going through the center of my thread burner. Be careful now that the thread burner tip is hot. Press the button, let the thread burner tip heat. And then when it's ready, it'll just go through the thread. Okay, there we go. That's all done. Now, it'll be easier for me to see what's happening without those threads. I'm going to pull this up, pull this back down. And I'm going to make sure that this closes before I close things up. And yeah, it does. Now, I want to show you something. Something happened here with this. For whatever reason, probably because I'm doing it on camera and I wasn't paying as much attention as I should have been when I was closing this off. See how I have a really open strand right there, right? It's just a plain strand. It's Kind of hard to see. There we go. These other two strands look okay, but that strand doesn't look as great. So instead of knotting this off, though I am going to do one knot here, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. Okay? Because I want to kind of cover that up. Had I been paying more attention, I would have made sure when I kind of tightened everything up that the knot that I tied, that everything was even. And it wasn't, but I'm not too fussed because it allows me to do another little design flourish there. Okay. So now I have these three. I've tied my square knot up there so it's secure and tied. What I'm going to do is I'm going to attach this up there with my clamp through the loop. I'm going to attach this down here with a little padding over the clamp so I don't break my beads. I find where that open strand is, which is right here. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to isolate it a bit so it'll be a little bit easier for me to macrame around. Since I have these strands here already, I'm going to slide all of that down. And I'm just going to macrame down this thread to close it up. Now, what I could also do, see, there's my first macrame knot. I could just slide the beads up and macrame them like that, right? Have a few up there. Then I could do a few that are just the knots. This would also be a great way to string this up, right? We always need to be open to opportunity when we have a little fork in the road of our design, right? It's okay. It's okay that I had this open, right? Especially with the style of this necklace. It's not the end of the world, right? So I've done a few like plain ones. Now I'll do another bead. One. That's why having these basic skills down gives you some options in case you have something that goes awry. And this is the perfect type of necklace to do something like this in, right? Because all of this kind of has a interesting flow to it, right? The beads are all a little different. I've got this little end on here with these Padre beads. So we're making it a little interesting at the end. Then that'll get taken up. These beads keep wanting to go up there. Come on. I'm going to do one more. And then I'll just glue it when those two want to just be together. So I'm going to let them. Or not. There we go. One more. And then I'll glue it. And we'll call it a day. Before I tighten that knot up, I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I'm glad you folks are picking up what I'm putting down on this. Good. Because there is no way that I would undo this and redo it, right? I just wouldn't. And I think this is a great solution for it. A little bit of glue there. I'll come in. Normally I'd let this sit, right? But I'm going to go ahead and thread burn it down. The thread burning really helps to cauterize the thread, even while the glue is still wet. Oh, this is one. Oh no, that is the right one. I need to get a little closer. Sorry. You get in there. Seems like this new battery that was working so well is not quite working. There we go. There it went. And I'll do this one. See, I can get just one more in there. And then once this is all done, you'll be set. I'll go ahead. I'm just going to go ahead and clip this one away. I think this time it was my batteries. I love my thread burner too, but I think it's my battery that's the issue today. So here it is, right? There's the closure. Look at how neat. Look at how neat that loop looks, right? And look at how interesting that closure looks. It's not a bad way to finish something like this off. I could have, even added more threads and done some macrameing on the ends. I could have done that over here too, had I planned it out, but this was a very serendipitous little sidestep here. So here's this, and there's the closure. So let me arrange it so you can see what things look like. So here's the little tassel that I made with one side of the beads. And I think the tassel on just the single strand is exactly right with this. And Terry, I think this is a great tip. You could do a knotted strand. Like if you wanted a fourth strand, you could keep aside, especially if you're doing this a little shorter, and keep some of these aside and have some exposed thread, bead groupings, then knots, then some more exposed thread, etc. So it was more like a float, right? That would look great too, I think. I think it would look good. I know I really thread burned that in a very rogue manner, for sure.
You sound like me.
Thread burnt. I don't know. Let's go ahead and make this look nice. Yeah, Janice keeps her thread burner, her good batteries with her thread burner. I think I keep the old batteries that I keep changing out of my thread burner in the drawer. So I need to get some fresh ones in there. Of course, it always happens when I'm on air, right? All right. So here we have it. And this, as I say, is a longer one. But this will be good for a screenshot. I'll take a photo of it and add it to the kit page so you folks can see this all here. But you're there, right? I think it looks pretty good, if I do say so myself. Right? Okay. So do remember that the kit that you get, they're all going to be slightly, that's right. They're all going to be slightly different, but I'm going to put each one of these together. So I'll pair everything. Everyone will get one of these, but this strand, these rings, and your center bead will vary slightly, as well as you'll also get your button. You just need to decide what thread. You can use your Ceylon if you have Ceylon in your stash, or you can go to our Ceylon section and pick up a color that you like. I use the indigo here, but you could use just about anything. I really love this too. I'm glad you folks like it. Thank you so, so much. I'm so glad you folks like it. I'm going to put it on too. Let me see. Let me see how it looks. Can I get it over my head? I think I can. Look, this long. I don't even have to worry. Look at that. It's great as a long one. And it's great as a layering piece for sure, right? I think it's good. So there it is, my friends. The Crossroads of Color kit is up and running. I did make quite a few of them. So we have a nice amount for you. So if you want to do, like a multiple strand one or one with more strands, you can pick up 2 kits. 2 kits would look really nice together as well. So that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Oh, I'm really glad you folks loved it. Yeah, it looks great. I think it looks really good on here. Not too bad for kind of banging this tutorial out, I think. It's Terry, this is a good question. The focal, I think you need something to weight it, because if you put the focal, like, let me just say, well, I don't know if I wore it like this, it feels like it's staying kind of, right? And I could put the rings kind of come in the center here, right? Maybe that's what's making this kind of stay like this. So maybe that would be okay too. I was going to say, no, it needs to be in the middle, but I don't know that it does, because look at the rings kind of come down here to the middle like this. And I think that adds a little bit of a counterweight. And then here is my, my little tassel-y thing I made. So that will work as well. Do whatever works for you. All right. That's it for me. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Stay creative. Do something that's really fun for yourself this weekend, right? Get out your beads. Make something pretty, or something interesting, right? Doesn't have to be pretty. Get some rest. Get some creative rest. And I will see you next week. I also want to make a little thing with this, right? I was going to sign off, but then I get distracted, right? I can make just a little thing with the fabric that comes in too. I don't know. There's always another design, right? Always another design. So, have a fantastic weekend all. I will see you next week on Wednesday. Janice is going to be with me, and we're going to do that tutorial. Remember how we talked about, maybe it was last week, I can't remember, about using the roller beads and doing a multi-strand closure with that roller. Janice is going to show us how she does that on Wednesday. And then on Friday, a week from today, is the unboxing for the mystery box, Danielle's next mixed mystery box. We still have a few of those in stock. So if you want one and you want it before we do the opening, the unboxing, I would order it today, because we're almost caught up on shipping them out. So the rest of them will go out today, this weekend, Monday. If you order it any later, you may not get it before the unboxing. Okay, but you'll get it. All right, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. We could not do this without you. And of course, you can find us everywhere online at beadshop.com. Hit that like, subscribe, and notification button over on YouTube. Join us over on Facebook at the Bead Table. We'd love to see what you are making with this kit and beyond. If you post anything on Instagram, please tag us at beadshop.com so we can share it out. And of course, our Pinterest pages are full of info and inspiration. Got any questions? Drop us an email over at info@beadshop.com. Thanks a lot, everybody. We'll see you next week.